Login accepted.
All right, it's 12:05. We're gonna start our meeting, our very last meeting of the year right now. So again, well, farewell, and there's some snacks. Feel free to get it. So,
So my name is Molly, as a lot of people know. I am co-president and co-tech symposium chair.
my name is Jessica. I'm co-president, co-tech symposium chair, and I was doing some embedded systems earlier.
Hi
Yes.
everyone, Adam. Discord handle development. I was last year's CCDC database lead, and this year I'll be the CCDC co-captain and Linux lead.
Hi, I'm Natalie. I did CCDC.
A lot of it.
A lot of. All right, so for table of contents, it's a wrap, right? Swift wrap, and then there's also a section of where all of you can continue cyber. There's the boot camps where Natalie and Adam will be covering, and of course our last final words. All right, so wrap it up, guys. So, all right, we have our own Tuesday presentations where you learn new cybersecurity concepts. And then it's followed up by Friday, where you're doing hands-on workshop. And then we have 32 meetings hosted and 20 more.
Oh,
Well,
that
not
was
20 more coming up,
not
but
yet.
it was like mid-year. But we now have a total of like what, 52 meetings essentially. So average meeting attendance is 33, and there's 318 new people. So that's cool. And of course, we have our mentorship. So we have 35 mentees and 12 eBoard mentors, along with one-on-one pairing with other alumni that are also professionals. We have 20 mentees and 20 alumni mentors. We have our professional events. So we had our King of the Hill. Did any of you guys did King of the Hill?
One
No.
person, two people.
Nice. And then we also had our scare CTF by our Swinterns. Did any of you guys did that as well? Nice. Nice. Great job. We're happy. We're happy about that. And then of course our really big event, which was Red versus Blue competition that's sponsored by Isaka. And yeah, we had 100 attendees from 13 schools and $400 worth of prizes. Did any of you also attend Red versus Blue? Nice. All right, we had our interclub events as well. We collabed with GDG and FAST in securing AI applications. We had our holiday special with other CIS and CS clubs along with mini ITC. And we also had Tech Symposium. I think the majority of you attended that, but I might be wrong.
Who won tech symposium?
Yeah, the majority of you guys attended that. We also have a speaker from here right now, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, there were a lot. And then of course our community service area where we had Bronco Brawl, where we provide free networking services for over 1,000 gamers across 10 universities, and that also coincide with ITC. Hopefully that didn't go too badly. Actually, well, I don't know. I like the May Cafe. But then we also had the CSAF mini RVB where we hosted RVB, but in a smaller scale, so anyone can try out their hands on defending different systems and setting them up. And then, of course, board applications are still open until May 1st. So if you're looking to be more involved in campus and have extra hands-on experience on cybersecurity, along with having academic community, please apply for our board. All right, so about our board, what exactly to expect from the process? All you need to do is just submit your resume, pick your preferred role, and then book a 45-minute interview slot. We interview everyone, of course, and if you've already been interviewed, your results will be sent in May. And yeah, good luck and thank you so much for supporting Swift. Do we have any questions about board applications, perhaps?
All right, that's good.
All right.
Okay, so for continuing cyber, I have a few notes on what you guys might want to do over the summer. This is how ChatGPT works. So, It's not late to apply for internships. You know, it might seem like it's over. It's not over, okay? Trust, it's not over. Make sure to network aggressively. Make a LinkedIn if you guys haven't already. Who has a LinkedIn right now in this room? That's not everyone. So hop on that. Reach out to CBP alumni at your target companies. They will be really willing to tell you advice on their role, especially like good and bad things. I think that when you're like actually in it, you feel comfortable saying things very honestly. So definitely take advantage of your network. And also leverage local and smaller organizations. A lot of big tech has closed a lot of their applications, but there are still more organizations. And if you live locally to places like the LA sort of offices, you have an advantage at your local organizations. So they want to pick people like you that live closer versus people who are farther away. So it's not over. And then the final thing is to utilize application extensions. Have you guys heard of that before? Who's used an application extension to help like apply for jobs and stuff? Okay. So there's apps like Simplify.io that let you enter your application info and like autofill it to different applications to mass apply for jobs, which sounds like not super honest, but I mean you did fill it out in the beginning, right? So it is your info. I don't know, that just would help me. So I kind of recommend that. Do a certification. There's many things you could do. Security Plus is obviously the one that a lot of people are aiming for. This is entry level for defensive roles, but also it does lean very heavily into a business aspect. In general, a lot of companies will filter for if you have Security Plus. So even if you might not gain the most from it, it's going to be really helpful if you want to apply for a job, especially with government. There's going to be Blue Team Level 1. This one is for hands-on prep for incident response. I believe that the rest of these three have actual like hands-on lab elements to it. So it helps to just go through the actual certification course and also to do the cert. And the whole process is going to be very helpful towards you, towards your skills. There's going to be Certified Red Team Operator. This one is for working with lateral movement and Active Directory. And then we have Offensive Security. I forgot what it stands for. OSCP, entry level for pen testing. So I think these are all going to be pretty helpful certifications if you want to get into that, if you are looking for something to do over the summer. Highly recommend to get into certifications and learn something new. If you want to do a free certification, I wanted to share that Calbright Community College has free courses for California residents. If you complete their A+ or Network Plus course, you can receive free certification vouchers. And so this is a pretty big deal. A+, the cert alone, not even the actual course, which might be like another 500. The cert alone is around $500 because it is 2 parts. And then the Net Plus cert alone is around $350. So like that is just taking one single like exam, like a multiple choice exam. So it's pretty crazy. You know, there are student discounts, but if you go through this program, they do have a California grant for people to get into cyber. And so that can be something to look into. And it's entirely online and self-paced. And so if you do the A+ and Network Plus ones, they allow you to do the Security Plus one. So if you really wanted to, you could get all 3 for free. Yeah, so although Sec Plus is industry standard, this course has a prerequisite of completing either A+ or Network Plus first. And so A+ covers more of like hardware and troubleshooting, while Network Plus covers more networking and addressing. Out of curiosity, who has like A certification at all in this room? Yeah. How did it go for you guys? You recommend? Do you think it was a good idea? Yeah. Listen to those people. That's trust. And all 3 certs can help you land a job. These are all certifications that are very well known in industry. This is something that can really help you throughout your career. And also, I think most, at least for CompTIA, they last for about 3 years. So you do have to like recertify. But in that 3-year span, if you are able to land a job, then usually that takes precedence over having a certification. Also, you can do a personal project. You can learn programming. You can learn different languages like Python. You can learn like PowerShell, Go, anything you really want. I think that it's a good time to leverage all the free time that you have outside of school. You can fill out like your GitHub and make some new projects. You can document your online training. If you are someone that doesn't feel comfortable building out your actual lab, you can go on sites like hackthebox.com. Hack the Box has many certifications and free training modules and boxes that can help any skill level break into cyber. And so it's highly recommended to host your own virtual machine to learn through it and kind of figure out how things work. Yeah, or you can make up your own practice environment. You can learn like Active Directory or Linux. You can kind of work through those elements and see how they work together. I think that, you can read all that you want, but the actual hands-on element is going to be irreplaceable. That's going to be something that you really, really want to focus on. And you can host your own website. GitHub Pages is free. Making your own website can mean that you are putting all of your like journal entries on what you've done in cyber, or you can talk about your competitions, about your experience in it. In general, this is going to be great for if you want to share your progress. And a lot of people do this, so recruiters can see that they're actually still working on stuff throughout the year, especially over the summer. Or you can take a CodePath class. Have you guys heard of CodePath before? Yeah. That's Elite Ball. So CodePath is this also free program where they have courses in web development, cybersecurity, iOS development, Android development, and technical interview prep. And so these are all going to be entry-level sort of topics, but they do dive into like a beginner and an advanced level, and they do try to make it so it's always hands-on technical projects. I think with my experience with it, it was pretty helpful. I think I did a lot of, I learned a lot of tools that I wouldn't normally run into. So it's pretty helpful. They have weekly Zoom meetings and a technical assignment with a small group. And so they do try to group people by university. I remember that my cybersecurity course had like over 100 people easily, but my small group was all people from CPP. So it was pretty cool to see. We could actually like meet together and talk about what we were working on. And then the dates and times, it goes from June 2nd to August 4th. So that could be something pretty cool to do over the summer. But there's also our own cybersecurity boot camps, which you might also want to look into. And also, we have a career fair on April 30th. Yeah, they're doing something called like Broncos Last Dash. I think it's just going to be a final career fair for the year. They're trying to help people find roles across all the colleges. But yeah, going into comp boot camps, we have Natalie and Adam to talk about that.
Okay, so speaking of stuff to do over the summer, we have two major competition teams, and Natalie will be going over them.
The first one is CPTC, or the Collegiate Penetration Testing Competition. And in the past, our school has been the world champions 2 years in a row, and it is an international competition. This is an offensive competition that focuses on pen testing, IT infrastructure, social engineering, and scripting and reverse engineering. So in this competition, you're given the network of a fictitious company, and your goal is to pen test the entire network, note down any vulnerabilities and how you would exploit them, put those in a report, and I believe in the later levels, in the international level of the competition, you will be presenting that information to a panel of judges as well. And this pretty much just simulates pen test engagements and shows the importance of business in cyber, or cyber in business. And there's 6 members in the main roster and 2 alternates on the team. Then we have CCDC, which is the Collegiate Cyber Defense Competition, and it's a national competition. In the past, the school has been 2-time national runner-ups. And it's a defense-oriented competition that has a focus on sysadmin, incident response, and computer networking. And it pretty much simulates IT and incident response teams. So kind of similar to CPTC, you're also given the network of a fictitious company, but instead of attacking it, your goal is to defend it, make sure your services are running, make sure you patch any vulnerabilities from an active red team, and complete any business reports and tasks. So there will be 8 students on the main roster and up to 4 alternates.
Yeah, and if you've done RVB, this is very similar to RVB, but with a few extra steps. So for our bootcamp and trial info, starting on July 11th, starting every Saturday, we'll have boot camps for each team. CPTC is from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and this eventually leads to tryouts. This is a very important time slot. You have to go there because they do pay attention to who goes and like that kind of stuff. While for CCDC, this is from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. and this is an optional boot camp, is mainly for you guys to just learn and get ahead of the game before fall boot camp. And speaking of fall boot camp, that's every Saturday starting August 29th and going to September 12th. It's the same time, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. and this eventually will lead to tryouts. This is the mandatory boot camp for CCDC and the location is still to be determined. We're still trying to find a room. Yeah. For summer boot camp, this is available on Zoom and in person, but we do prefer people to go in person just so. Well, yes, it's still to be determined, but we do want people or want to try to be in person. And some additional notes for CCDC. Unfortunately, there is a limit for how many grad students we can take. And we already are at that limit. I'm actually going to be one of them because next year I'll be in the MSIS program. And like I said before, summer boot camps for CCDC are optional and they're for your own advantage so that you can get ahead and it does not carry over to the fall. And for QR codes, these are very important. This is just for us to get an idea of who will be attending and how many people we can expect. We have the CPTC interest form, CCDC interest form, and then the CPP Cyber Discord server, which is where we host the actual online tryouts. So yeah, I'll give you guys a second to scan that.
And even if you guys don't want to compete or try out for the teams, you can go to the boot camps just to learn and get a bit of hands-on experience.
Does anyone have any questions regarding the boot camp and tryout? Okay, they were good. Well, thank you guys.
And then we just have some final words. So, I'm gonna do that.
All right, so congrats on almost finishing the semester. Feel free to just talk. What did you learn from Swift? Is there any advice from the graduating seniors? What is everyone's summer plans? And throw any other questions at us.
Tyler?
Stuff would be like next year, the topics you're gonna cover is gonna be the same stuff, but it's gonna be like different or both.
So it'll definitely be different stuff throughout the sort of like Swift Academy. In the fall, we have our introductory lessons, so that's like Linux and Windows, but we might branch out into something more specific. And then in the spring, we have more of our specific workshops. And so those are more led by our Swinterns. And so you'll definitely see new topics every year that you're in Swift. Give any advice as a graduating
Advice?
board member?
That's true. I'm a graduating board member. Any advice? I have a lot to say. Well, for advice in general, I think all of you should persist and keep going and just screw around and find out of like in whatever field that you like, even if you suck at it, even if you can't explain it correctly, just try again over and over again anyways. I've seen a lot, at least during my time in Swift, there used to be so much people in the very beginning, and then the end it just kind of like dies.
Yeah.
Like I get it. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of really hard things in cybersecurity, but a lot of it is you can definitely learn. You can definitely put your time into it and learn a lot. And I think I'd also like to take the time to speak for the women that are in cybersecurity. This is my experience in Swift personally. I had to quit cybersecurity for a couple months because I felt harassed, I felt targeted, and I felt humiliated by some members in here. And yeah, a lot of the cybersecurity aspects that I learned from Swift, it keeps being associated with this group. So I had to just take time off from cybersecurity. But yeah, for there's like very little women here, but speak up, uh, tell your friends, report any harmful actions that people may have taken against you, and yeah, make friends and have a nice, strong community. And I think that's pretty much it from my advice. I don't
Mhm.
have anything else
Yeah,
to say really.
on the point of finding your own community. I know that sometimes meetings can feel like we're just talking at you guys. We're
Right.
not really actually like having a conversation. So when we start up in the fall, we are going to have our PALS mentorship, and that focuses a lot on having small groups that focus specifically on building community within cyber. I mean, even if it's just for the social aspect of having a friend group, I think it's really important to sustain that, especially for a topic or like a field that is so heavy, it might feel like a lot to take on at once. And especially like Jessica mentioned, for women in this team, we have to stick together. We have to like think about how we're all working together. So I think that would be it. Do we have any other thoughts from the room? Yes.
So, I started cyber after my second year at Cal Poly Pomona. I was just being a bum for my first 2 years. I literally just went to class, just went straight home right after. I don't recommend doing that. Try to keep yourself busy, try to always do something productive. And, if you're trying to do cyber specifically and you're already set on that, try doing something out of your comfort zone. And starting with certifications, that's also a really good starting point to land your first job or internship. Security Plus is not the most hands-on certification, I would say. I have it myself, but it helps you get familiar with the terminology so you can talk cyber with other people. Besides the program that Molly mentioned, you do actually get 50% off if you are a student. So I got my Network Plus voucher for around 200 instead of the 350. And it also came with the study guide to go along with that. That's why it's around 200. Also, if you want to get more involved in campus, there are research programs available. Polysec Lab has stuff. Certain professors, if you're a CS major, you can talk to them as well. I'm currently doing 2 research programs or research projects. I'm leading one, and then I'm also doing one under Professor Ming-Yan Chow. That helps me get more official experience, something else to put on your resume too. I have a publication done, and we're working on more of those. So just try to do as much as you can. My career completely changed within the year I started cyber. At first, I was like, I'm just a bum, dude. I'm not gonna get interested. And after my first year starting cyber, I didn't get an internship. And I was like, dude, I'm cooked. Like, I'm gonna be jobless after 2026. But actually, after I joined CCDC, that definitely changed my perspective a lot. I got a lot of hands-on experience, and that actually helped me get an internship at Esri, which is a GIS company, for this summer. So definitely try to do something in your spare time, or like try to do something productive every day. Keep yourself at it. But yeah, that's my advice.
Very good advice. Congrats, by the way. Anything else from the room?
Oh.
Kyle?
Algorithmic courses, are there any like prerequisites that you did like have before you take certain like
certification?
I would look into the actual website, but what I saw and what I've heard from people in the program is that you just need to do A plus or Network Plus, like those courses before doing Security Plus. And so I think those are actually really helpful. I think people tend to think it's like A plus, Net plus, Sec plus, like it's a sort of like it goes up in difficulty, but it really is its own specific topics. I think A plus especially is one that's looked down upon as one that is like skip it if you think you know cyber, but A plus is really focused on hardware and a lot of troubleshooting. And as someone that did Security Plus and Network Plus, looking at the A plus questions, I was like, wait, I don't know this. So I think that it's gonna be really important to know which track you want to go into if you want to do one that go into Security Plus. But yeah, as far as I know, everyone who lives in California who's an adult should be eligible. But yeah. Aiden, do you have a question?
Yeah, who's gonna be hosting the CPTT then?
The CPTC team that's would be returning. Yeah.
From what I know, it's gonna be like mostly online because the captain will be in San Francisco for the majority of the summer. So he'll be online. I'm not really sure, who will be in person for that. Yeah, I mean, we're available in person as well, but we're technically not on CBTC. But we can be there to represent.
So just to clarify, for the boot camps, what part is online, what part is in person?
So boot camp, will be available in the summer, online, and we're still trying to figure out if we can get a room for the summer. But if we can't get a room, it'll be strictly online. And I think for fall, we're like, for sure gonna be in person and not online. Just so that, we can meet people in person and see our, everyone that's there.
Alright. Anything else? Yes, Natalie.
Sure, so for CCDC, we're focusing on like a lot of the fundamentals. So for blue teaming, you would think about like networking, services, Active Directory, firewalls, stuff like that. So if you're looking to get ahead of the game, I would study, working with like a Linux VM and try to bring up, common services like FTP, SSH, ICMP, and then work with IP tables for firewalls. That will definitely get you ahead. And that's all stuff we're gonna be going over during summer weekend.
There's also, we can, we did this process with the, Jim. Yeah. And we can't really speak too much about what's going on with the CPTC things, but then we're not on that.
Good question. Anything else? Okay, I think we're good then. Feel free to come get some more little snacks. Yeah, you guys can just hang out. Do the sign in if you haven't, the final sign in. Yeah. Thank you, everyone.